that I will be giving is Living Healthy in a Fast Food World, where I'll be talking about the 3 components in a healthy diet, and I'll be talking about the food guide pyramid, which everyone needs kind of like a refreshing. Well, I want to start off to say that all of you know that I've been healthy for the past couple of years, that it's just been a passion of mine, and I just enjoy learning about ways to improve my health, whether it's through exercising or eating healthy or just different ways to improve it. In my head, I like to think that a motivation of mine is we have one body, one life, and in many ways to either damage it or to improve it through our daily choices. I found tips in being health conscious through my personal experiences and through taking my introduction into nutrition at UNT. So I'm excited to share with you some of the knowledge that how to be healthy in a busy life. But before I begin, I want everyone to take a card that I've written your names down, or asked you guys to write your names down, and to take out someone else's name. And then find that person and ask them what their favorite dessert is.
Yep.
What's your favorite dessert?
Apple pie.
Really?
Yeah. Jenna, what's your favorite dessert?
Pumpkin roll.
Pumpkin roll. Good choice.
Okay, well, everyone knows that mine is chocolate. Anything chocolate makes me happy. Probably chocolate cake or good oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. So now that everyone's familiar with each other, I want to begin. I want to ask you guys what you think of when you think healthy, and just throw out ideas.
Vegetables.
Vegetables,
Wheat.
wheat,
Bad taste.
bad taste. Some people might think exercising. Some people might think drinking lots of water. Well, you go decide. That's what I think of when you think healthy. You might think of those different foods, running, getting lots of water, different salads. Now, next is the 3 components of a healthy diet. They are balance, variety, and moderation. Balance is choosing foods from all the different food groups. And fast food places, you see that they normally just do meats and grains. Our nation consumes a lot of meat and grains. However, in the last year or two, I've noticed that they have been doing lots of options where you can do apples instead of French fries, you can do milk instead of soda. So choosing those options is a great way, but to try to just pick between the different groups each day and not focus on one or two. Now, variety is choosing among the different foods within each food group. So that's not balance, which is taking different foods from the different food groups, but within a food group. So when I go to the grocery store, I try to have different fruits. Like I'll go and have apples and strawberries one week, and then I'll have kiwi and blueberries another week. I try to mix it up, and I usually try to do ones that are in season, since they're usually cheaper and they're usually fresher. So I'm really bad about veggies. When it comes to veggies, I usually pick just carrots or cucumbers or something really simple. But my roommate's really good about putting greens in our meals. When we have an entree, I usually just do an entree. But now moderation is probably the easiest that people think of, and that's choosing smaller portions. It's just, having a smaller portion instead of, the Big Mac. And it doesn't mean to necessarily not have, negate having tasty stuff, but just to have smaller portions of higher fat, sugar, salt, and energy foods. As most of you know, like I said earlier, I like chocolate, and I could probably sit and eat chocolate all day long, but I found that eating 2 Dove chocolates usually satisfies my hunger of chocolate, and every now and then I'll have chocolate cake. I like to go and order, usually dessert. Joe will tell people that I always say, yeah, I'll get the dessert. So, we can go to the next slide. Now this is the new food guide pyramid. It got revised not too long ago. As you can see, they want you to think of 3 things when you look at that. It's a personal approach to eating healthy and physical activity. The steps on the side want to remind you that daily exercise contributes to health, and then the narrowing of the food groups reminds you of moderation as opposed to the chunks that it was before. Now the 5 major food groups, as you can see up there, are fruits, veggies, milk, grains, and meats and beans. And then the 6th one is the fats and oils, which they usually tell you to use sparingly, but it is important to have in your diet. Grains. Grains are made with wheat, oats, rice, cornmeal, anything that's a grain product. We usually think of pasta and bread and oatmeal, and they're usually, pretty easy to identify what a grain is. Now they're broken up into 2 groups, which I've given you as a handout, and they are the whole grains, which contain the entire grain kernel. And examples of these are whole wheat flour, cracked wheat, oatmeal, whole cornmeal, and brown rice. And then you have the refined grains, which have been milled, and it's a process that removes the germ and the bran. You can see that a lot of vitamins and nutrients are removed in this process. And this process is done so they get a finer texture and improve the shelf life, but also it removes the dietary fiber, like I said, iron and B vitamins. Examples include your white flour, your white rice, your white bread. And then also what's important to note is that enriched is also under the refined grains, which means that certain B vitamins and iron are added back after the processing, but not fiber. So it might have a caramel color added to it, but it does not mean that it has fiber in it. So you have your whole grains, you have your refined grains, which is usually the white, and then you have things that say wheat, but it's not necessarily whole wheat. Now you need 6 to 11 servings per day, and that means, a serving can consist of a slice of bread, half a cup of cooked grains, pasta, rice, 1 cup of most cold cereals, 6 saltines, 1/4 of a large muffin or bagel. And so as you can see throughout your day, I'm sure you can see, if you have a sandwich, you'll have maybe 2 slices of bread. And you might have a whole muffin instead of a 1/4 of a muffin. So that's how you can see where you can get grains.